and Democrats calling for a change to U.S. policy in Venezuela. This comes as others in her party are applauding the president for his get tough stance. Meanwhile, in Caracas, some residents of Venezuela's capital are finally getting the lights back on after a massive power blackout. The country's disputed president is pointing the finger at the U.S. Correspondent Rich Edson has the story from the State Department tonight.
The power at the subway cut out at rush hour around 5 p.m.
As the lights went out in Venezuela, here in Washington, a crack within the Democratic Party over who to support in a country besieged by a power struggle. 16 House Democrats split from party leadership, sending a letter to Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, opposing U.S. policy in Venezuela, blaming it for causing immense suffering. They write, quote, "Threats and involvement in Venezuela's domestic affairs by the U.S. are counterproductive, as they play into the Venezuelan government's narrative that the opposition is a proxy for the U.S." Among those signing the letter, Representatives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard. They criticize American sanctions and the administration's refusal to rule out a military intervention. Yet other Democrats note bipartisan support.
Democrats and Republicans are united as one on behalf of the people of Venezuela, on recognizing interim President Juan Guaido.
Soon after President Trump recognized opposition leader Juan Guaido as the legitimate interim president of Venezuela, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer voiced their support. The State Department's envoy for Venezuela responded directly to the Democrats' letter, saying the administration is trying to address the crisis in Venezuela, though disputed President Nicolas Maduro is blocking American aid shipments. Abrams also contends Guaido has significant international support.
The allegation that Juan Guaido is some kind of puppet of the United States, I think, is first ridiculous. You saw the way in which Guaido was received as he stopped in a bunch of Latin American capitals.
On Twitter, Maduro blamed Americans for the current situation in Venezuela, including today's blackout. Abrams pins it on Maduro's leadership.
The country's once quite sophisticated infrastructure has been plundered and allowed to decay under Maduro's misrule.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo also responded to Maduro, saying his policies have meant no food, no medicine, and now no power. Pompeo says next, there'll be no Maduro. Chris?
Rich Edson reporting from the State Department. Rich, thanks for that.